Welcome back after the break. Well, Sunil, going back to the same story that we were talking about before the break, the women, Samasar is actually now planning to file a lawsuit against the police department in New York City and in Nassau County.
And that is the area where this whole thing took
Right,
place.
the robberies and everything, she got arrested over. So what do you think about this? I mean, you think police department is actually somehow responsible for this?
I certainly think they are responsible. I don't think they did the proper diligence just because somebody complained. And here is a way, very simple way, somebody makes multiple calls, creates a witnesses against somebody to take a revenge. They should have found out that this lady has already filed a case. There is a motive behind it. Somebody may be trying to frame her. It's a very simple thing. If somebody has filed a case against somebody for a rape, there is chances that people are going to try to frame her, and police should have looked beyond what they saw, but they did not. I think she has a very strong case. I think she should prevail, and not only police department. I think Mr. Jerry Ramratan should be
because it's not
for
only this girlfriend that is a victim.
Yeah.
There are other people that are victim also. All these there's an illegal immigrant from Trinidad actually told the police everything, the truth, that the boyfriend actually told him that he can actually get legal residency if he tries to be, if he claims that he has been robbed by this woman.
Right.
So it's not only the girlfriend, it's actually more than just one victim over here.
Well, once you are watching CSI, Law and Order, all the police drama cases, and if your
Actually,
mind is
that
very fertile, you could
interesting.
go.
I mean, I keep on going back every time I read the story. I go back to it. CSI, Law and Order. I mean, even though they're not very realistic, I mean, the law department is actually very different, in reality. But I think, the ideas, you think it was actually getting it from all these shows?
I'm sure, and it makes a very good story for a Hollywood or even a Bollywood movie today. Ferry, going on to the next story, which is very interesting development in India, which is again related to the NRIs, non-resident Indians. The southern part of India recently saw an election in the state of Chennai, and the new chief minister, which is an equivalent of what we call in US the governor, Dr. J. Jayalalitha came in, and she is quite an administrator. She has hired in the position of an additional director general of police his name is S. George. He's a very tough cop, and keep in mind that he's educated in our neighborhood in New York. Look at his credentials. Mr. George has done his MTech from Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi. Then he studied master's degree from Baruch College of City University of New York and followed it up with MBA and then MPhil degrees. Right. And he had just recently enrolled himself for a doctoral studies before he got a call from the big lady. And the agenda here is, which is very typical in India, what we call land scams. Right. If you have a piece of land, somebody comes and occupies it, it's almost impossible to move them from there. And if you are able to move them, there is a serious price, because Indian real estate has seen an exponential growth in the last 10 years. Right. So the first thing people want is to see a barren piece of land which happens to be in an important area or potentially into an important area, take it over and set up a small hut. That's it, it's yours. And lots of NRIs, non-resident Indians who are living in America, there are almost 5 to 6%, which is almost 200,000 non-resident Indians. They come from the state of Chennai. Right. And many of them probably must have invested or inherited from their parents, and they have no claim.
So they're basically the victim of this scam.
And let me tell you, the lands which are occupied by force, by intimidation, by impersonation, without any documents, forged documents, and even without full payment. And if you want to touch these people, they instill insecurity and fear in you, and somebody living here does not have the time to go back to India and fight with somebody. Right. So this is a phenomenal program that Dr. Jayalalitha has come on with. She has brought in Mr. S. George as the additional director general of police, created a special cell. This cell is only meant for land scams. And obviously it is going to be handling the land scam problems people in India, but it has offered a special program for the non-residents living in America. And if they have similar issues, they should be able to go on a police website called tnpolice.gov.in and file their complaint and expect to get their property back. I think this is a wonderful example.
Right.
And I would imagine if every state in India, every chief minister takes proactively similar actions, I can bet you the non-resident Indians, so many of them who have claims, will be very, very happy. And if there were voting right, they will be voting very aggressively for such and such as the chief minister.
Right. And actually, the police has actually restored the land worth of over 450 crore rupees. So
As
they
of now.
actually, yeah. So actually, I think, you
The
know,
program is working.
yeah, absolutely. I mean, I think she has made a very good decision of hiring George.
Yeah.
So
This is the first
very,
time. This is the
very
first time.
smart guy, you know, graduated right from Baruch College. And what they also found is that the politicians from all parties, policemen and revenue officials are involved in this land grabbing. That's what the, you know, police.
Which is story of India, you know.
Right.
On the one side, you have some of the best people, but you look at every scam, whether it's a land scam or a property scam or a money laundering scam, there is, you know, a politician behind it. I think very soon there will be, behind every corruption and corrupt scandal, there is a politician behind it. Politician is the most hated word in India. What a shame.
I agree. I totally agree with that.
Coming on to the next story, Ferry, this is very interesting that in last few years, almost the last one decade, how Indians have done in America. They have created an intrigue about India. On the one side, the ITs and the doctors and the engineers and the entrepreneurs that took a lot of lot many people from this part of the world or the international markets into India, and to really research, discover what they really want to discover India. And the top museums in America today, you look at the Metropolitan Museum, you look at the Rubin Museum, now you look at the Brooklyn Museum in the New York, has opened Vishnu exhibition.
Interesting.
Vishnu exhibition is available through October 2, which is the month of festivities for Indians. And the focus is the blue-skinned savior, what we call Vishnu. And Vishnu is the one of the three deities, the three big gods that are in Hindi mythology. There is Brahma, who is called the creator, and then there is Vishnu, the one that is being put in the museum for his work or his details. He is the preserver, and then the Shiva. Lord Shiva is the destroyer. And you know, the museum has been doing quite a bit of work, and they have accomplished few things, but in the meantime what they have done is exhibited about 170 objects that will explain the persona and the legends of Vishnu, his entourage, and the diverse traditions and the worships related to him. So the plan is by the Brooklyn Museum to bring in the mythology, the history, the knowledge, the story of what we call Lord Vishnu, who has actually different shapes and different names. And they have, what they have done is they have divided into three different sections. And the introductory section is where they include the sculptures of Vishnu, one of which is a large scale terracotta of the god standing alone. Most gods in Hindu are portrayed in a swinging posture, but Vishnu is shown in this one as upright to symbolize balance he brings to the world. What a nice way to do it.
Right.
And in actually, you know, one of the shapes, one of the forms of Lord Vishnu is Narayana, and with him is Lakshmi. They are both of the same height, and there is again something carved for them also. On the second one, they are the largest section actually at the exhibition, which depicts the Vishnu's forms of what we call his avatars, which is not only human when he took the shapes and forms of what we call Lord Krishna and Lord Rama, but also into the animals, which is fish, including the ferocious lion.
Right.
Now, the third and the final section of the exhibition is will be focusing on the ritual objects, you know, how the Indians or the followers of Lord Vishnu pray. And This is the depiction of the devotees of Vishnu when they, because they visit the temples, and many of them worship at their own homes. Many of the Indians, even in America, you will see, have created their small temples.
Right.
And this third segment is about that. And let me tell you this, Hinduism's Lord Vishnu has been here for in the Frisch Center for Visual Arts in Nashville, Tennessee, and the curator is Joan Cummins, the Lisa, and Bernard Shells. I think it's worth a trip. We should make a trip. Definitely. And check it out.
Definitely. Sounds very interesting. And the next story is also about another exhibition in Metropolitan Museum of Art, which is about Devi, the goddess in Indian painting. It is being exhibited at Metropolitan Museum of Art through November 27, 2011, featuring 30 works from the museum's collection that depict Devi in all her various aspects. Devi is, the Indian goddess, and she is, the omnipresent embodiment of power and wisdom, given impression in all Indian ancient religions.
Right. Now, you say Devi. Devi is essentially what they call the mother goddess.
Right.
And she has different forms and different shapes.
Right.
And let me tell you a little bit on the Metropolitan Museum. Has been I think it's been almost 5-6 years when Lal Motwani first approached them, and he's on their board, I think. He made sure the Metropolitan Museum opened up and started to recognize the cultural and the fine art part of the Indian community. They have Diwali Mela.
Right.
I think Diwali get together they have started. Last year they had the staging of the Ramayana, wonderful Ramayana. I was fortunate to be there. So this time now they have the Devi paintings, which you just said are available through the end of November, right after the Thanksgiving holidays, whereby the Indian paintings where she assumes the form of Durga, displaying the cosmic weapons lent to her by male gods. But in this case, she is standing on lotus flower. Normally she stands on the slayed, customary buffeted demon, but here she is standing on the lotus flowers. Then there is another form and shape of Devi, what we call Saraswati, and the benign patron of the arts and learning, they represented in mid 20th century, painted by an artist called Srimati. Then you have another section where they talk about the display, which has the beautiful 20th century bronze Yashoda nursing infant Krishna, Yashoda,
right.
Mother of Krishna.
Right, showing a great image of maternal love.
And this has come from Tamil Nadu again, and an enduring image of maternal love, and very likely a royal commission for use in the private chapel. Now this brings one more time, you see one museum, the other museum, bringing something which is very fine art of India, whether it is related to religion, because few years ago there was abuse. There were cases where people had abused the pictures of Indian goddesses, even gods, in the wrong places, liquor bottles, I guess, some very ugly forms and shapes and usages, and there was a big uproar about it. And now it's a very nice way you can see them in the museums. So now you have the Mahakumbh Mela,
right,
which is in the Rubin Museum. This
right.
18th, I think it's on the 18th Street in Manhattan. This couple who founded the Rubin Museum have done a wonderful work.
Right, and Mahakumbh Mela itself is like, it happens once in 144 years.
Right.
So anyone who even goes watches the exhibition will be part of the history.
True. And let me tell you, the Mahakumbhashekam is a part of the series of what we call Kumbhashekam, Ardha Kumbhashekam, Mahakumbhashekam. They're all coming at the multiple of every 3 years. And 3 years, and then 6 years, and then 9 years, and this is the Mahakumbhashekam. Now, this Mela, this celebration or this event, which was done in January through February in 2001, it's a 1 month long.
Right.
By some estimates, they say there were 75 million people there, which is 7.5 crore.
Right.
I mean, US population is about 300 million. You have 75 million, almost 1/4 of the US population attended this pilgrimage for Mahakumbhashekam, and there are reports that this whole crowd was visible up from the space.
Right. I think it's very interesting.
And what this Swiss artist Hans Schmidt has done, he has captured this so beautifully. It's in the stills and it's in the video format. And he is unfolding that at the Rubin Museum.
Right.
And he says there are some shots that he has taken. There were about 28 million pilgrims, because what they do is they go to the river Ganges and they take a bath. On the day when they take the bath, which is the main day, there were, by some estimates, about 28 million pilgrims taking bath.
Wow.
And this Mela actually symbolizes the victory of good over bad, essentially. And what he has done is, if you will, be fortunate to attend, and you should go and see at the Rubin Museum, he has large sea print photographs, capture the visual essence of the enormous act of faith, which is called Human Currents, which is where he will present the 7 large images along with accompanying video installation that will bring the life, the crushing, the claustrophobic crowds, the myriad colors, and the frantic energy of these greatest of Hindu pilgrimage.
Well, Sunil, we actually had lots and lots of interesting stories this week. But it is now time to say goodbye to our viewers. So it is now time to say goodbye to you. We'll see you again next week. Same channel, same show. Meanwhile, you can also watch us on YouTube. Till then, this is me, Fairy Bart, signing off. Take care. Goodbye.
Sunil Hali, we'll see you next week once again. In the meantime, have a great weekend. Thank you.